Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a closer look at an artist who's really reshaping the sound of modern jazz, Sharel Cassity. We've pulled together, well, a really fascinating stack of sources, biographical stuff, deep dives into her music to help you really get what makes her tick.
Yeah, and it's more than just, the impressive resume, isn't it?
Right.
Our goal today really is to trace that line from her early influences right through to her unique sound.
Okay.
And to understand her impact, not just playing her sax, but as an educator, an advocate too, why she's seen as this rising star who's already building a real legacy.
So let's start at the beginning. Who is Sharel Cassity? Fundamentally, she's an American jazz saxophonist, composer, educator. Her roots are in Oklahoma. Born into a very musical family. Mom was a pianist, dad a musician too. So music was just there early on.
Yeah.
And then as a teenager, she finds the saxophone, dives into formal training pretty quickly.
And that early start, plus you mentioned the family moved around a lot.
Yeah, that's in the background too.
Right. That seems key. It kind of fostered this adaptability, maybe, a wide taste in music.
Possibly.
And it leads to her approach, which really emphasizes melody and harmony. That's what kind of sets her apart, She's not just running changes, she's telling stories with the horn.
And her education path, it's quite something. By 2007, she's got a master's from Juilliard, full scholarship.
Wow, Juilliard.
Yeah. And that was after her bachelor's from the New School for Jazz and Contemporary Music from '02 to '05. Before that, University of Central Oklahoma.
So a really solid foundation.
Definitely. But then maybe the first huge break, 2008. She joins the dizzy Gillespie All-Star Big Band.
That's major league.
Right. I mean, what kind of impact does something like that have on a young musician? Beyond just, name recognition.
Oh, that's a great question. Because it's total immersion, isn't it?
Right.
You're suddenly playing alongside legends, people like James Moody, Roy Hargrove.
Jimmy Heath, Louis Nash.
Exactly. You have to step up your game immediately. There's no hiding. It's like an apprenticeship at hyperspeed. You're learning constantly, adapting to these incredible musicians, building networks.
Building that confidence, too, I imagine.
For sure. It forces versatility, but also demands you find your own voice within that elite setting. It really accelerates everything.
Okay, so building on that foundation, that intense experience, she starts honing her own sound. We mentioned melody and harmony are key for her. And it's not just about sounding good. It's about kind of pushing boundaries, right? Across different genres, too, not just jazz.
Yeah, you see hints of classical pop sometimes.
And she experiments with formats. The piano-less quartet comes up a lot. Sax, trumpet, bass, drums. Can you unpack the significance of that? Why take the piano out?
Well, it's a fascinating move, actually. It really forces you to ask, how does taking something away actually create more freedom?
Right.
See, the piano often lays down the harmonic roadmap, It dictates things.
The chords.
Exactly. Take that away, and suddenly the sax and trumpet have to imply the harmony more with their lines. They have more space, more freedom, maybe more responsibility.
Okay.
And the bass and drums have to fill that space differently, too, become even more interactive harmonically and rhythmically. It demands deeper listening, more spontaneity. It's a real catalyst for improvisational development.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And her collaborations, the list is huge.
Yeah.
Beyond the Dizzy Band.
Yeah, it's extensive.
She was with the Jimmy Heath Big Band and Queen's Jazz Orchestra for, 8 years?
2012 to 2020.
Nicholas Payton's Big Band before that. Roy Hargrove's Big Band back in '08. Cyrus Chestnut, lead alto in the Diva Jazz Orchestra for years.
Right, DV from '07 to '13.
Soloist with the Cincinnati Pops. Jazz at Lincoln Center gigs internationally, Doha, Shanghai. Played with Wynton Marsalis and the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra. Performed with Herbie Hancock for Jimmy Heath's 90th birthday at the Kennedy Center.
That's quite a roster.
And even crossing genres, working with Natalie Merchant. Appeared on the Today Show with her.
Yeah, The Paradise Is Here, album and DVD.
So how do all these diverse collaborations fit into the bigger picture? You mentioned Hargrove earlier.
Right. That collaboration with Roy Hargrove, for instance, is interesting because it was part of a move towards maybe a more relaxed, introspective kind of swing feel.
Okay.
A bit different from some of the really high energy stuff. It allowed for more harmonic exploration within a kind of looser rhythmic feel. And Sharel was right in the middle of that development.
So she wasn't just fitting in, she was contributing to these evolving sounds.
Exactly. Whether it's a traditional big band, with Heath or Marsalis or something totally different like Natalie Merchant. She brings her voice, but also absorbs and influences, shows real musical curiosity.
Yeah, definitely. And it's clear she's a force on stage, but there's this whole other side too, right? Education.
Oh, absolutely. Very committed. She's currently faculty at DePaul University, Columbia College, Chicago, professor of saxophone.
And Elgin Community College too.
Yeah.
Piano, flute, sax, and jazz pedagogy.
Right, spreading the knowledge. And she's entrepreneurial, too. Started her own record label, Relsha Works, back in 2016.
And her educational outreach program, Jazz Up, started in 2018.
And what's really compelling here, I think, is how her commitment to social good seems connected to her musical evolution.
How so?
Well, she's known personally as being, kind, generous, an advocate for social justice.
Okay.
And she's involved in charities, specifically setting up music programs for underprivileged kids. It's not just playing music. It's about using music to make a difference, nurture the next generation. It feels like a very holistic view of what it means to be an artist.
That's a great point. And her work hasn't gone unnoticed, obviously.
Yeah.
She won an ASCAP Young Jazz Composer Award.
Right.
Inducted into the Oklahoma Jazz Hall of Fame. And SF Jazz listed her in 2018 as one of 10 rising women instrumentalists you should know.
Yeah, significant recognition, well-deserved.
Her albums reflect this journey too.
Yeah.
Just For You was her first 2008, then Relentless in 2009. Manhattan Romance in 2014, Evolve in 2018, Fearless in 2020. And there's a new one, Gratitude, apparently coming in 2025.
Looking forward to that one.
That second album, Relentless, did particularly well, didn't it? Got 4 stars in Downbeat, hit number 21 on the Jazz Week National Chart. Mostly original tunes, too.
Yeah, 6 originals on there.
What does that kind of chart success mean for an independent artist like Sharel?
Oh, it's huge. Reaching number 21 on Jazz Week, especially with original music, means you're cutting through.
Okay.
It shows that the industry, radio programmers, listeners, they're paying attention. It means her unique sound, her approach, it wasn't just critically admired, it actually connected with a wider jazz audience. It's validation on a national scale for her artistic vision.
Right. So putting it all together,
Yeah.
What's the takeaway on Sharel Cassity?
Well, if you look at the whole picture, her innovative spirit, the way she experiments, but also her deep respect for tradition, it's left a real mark. Her music is inspiring people. Her compositions, her playing, her teaching. It's all going to be studied and appreciated for a long time, I think. She really embodies that spirit of jazz, doesn't she? Rooted, but always evolving, pushing forward, reaching people through her music, but also through her dedication to education, to community. It's the whole package.
It really is. Thinking about her journey, it's so compelling how she blends that incredible skill, that technique, with such a clear vision, pushing boundaries musically, but also being this force for positive change off stage. It makes it, about how creativity really can touch everything.
Absolutely.
And as she gets ready to release Gratitude next year, maybe the question for you, the listener, to think about is this. How does that dual commitment to artistic innovation and to community, how does that ultimately define an artist's deepest, most lasting legacy?